going to be reviewing your guys' builds in this video that you've posted in my Discord server. I'm going to rate it out of 10 in my personal rating. If you want your builds reviewed next time, make sure to join Smarty Devs in the description. First, we have Turbo here with his low poly map. Right off the bat, looks very good, but I don't really like the blur effect that you have on the lighting. It makes it look very foggy and hard to see, but overall, it looks like a nice design. I like the way you did the hills here. I also like the trees and the grass and the trail. Honestly, there could be a little bit more to this map. The trail's cool, but I would definitely look at adding some buildings, maybe flowers, add some more color to the map. I would also say that the islands are really cool and all that. I like the landscape, and I know that a lot of developers fall into this trap where you just make landscapes and you don't make full maps with buildings. I personally do this a lot, and honestly, a way to combat this would be to make buildings on a base plate and focus on not making any environments at all so that you can practice, and then you can bring these buildings into whatever map you want. But yeah, I'm gonna rate this a 6 out of 10. There could be a lot more to it, but overall, I like your direction. All right, next up we have, I don't know how to say that name, Vuk, but we have One Piece Island. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to his YouTube link. All right, let's check this out. Absolutely incredible effects that you have there, the rain, all that. I don't really play many anime games, but overall, this is absolutely a crazy map. I like the lighting a lot. Dang, bro. This is better than me. And I also really like the way that you're selling these on your YouTube channel. That's pretty cool. Commission, sold, or promoting that on your YouTube channel. 1.3K views, deserve. Very nice detail. If you can make your own game, you could make a hit with that kind of style of map. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. That's amazing. All right, we got Ali, and he has his maps on a page here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that because I know that. Don't go to websites you don't know. I know this website. All right, so I see that I think you're using the Roblox realistic trees and rocks assets they have. Overall, I like the placement, very realistic. I would say that you could add some patches of leafy grass to add a lot more realism to this. Also, maybe little patches of dirt or rock material. Just adding those little touches on the hills will really help it look a lot more realistic, but overall, it looks pretty cool. Your lighting's pretty good too, but same thing. I'm not really sure how much I like adding blur. I think you might have depth of field, but really the blur effects on Roblox aren't that well designed or anything. So I would avoid using those, but this is a hallway, I think. Looks pretty good. I'd say adding some neon or adding some more detail to the floor would probably help it look a lot better, but that's very cool looking. And I like all the intricacies on the ceiling here. It's pretty cool. This room's pretty cool right here. So you got some desks, you got, you know, very well thought out room for an SCP game, I'm guessing. So yeah, very good. And this looks pretty cool. I'm guessing this is for tower defense. I'm not sure if all these maps are for tower defense, but this is like a tower defense map. Looks very nice. I would say, you know, always could be more detailed, maybe a little bit more color, but I know what you're going for was a grayscale map. But if you have that orange there, maybe you could add orange somewhere else, just add a little bit more detail. You know, just little things I noticed. Military checkpoint trespassers will be shot. This looks pretty good. I would probably improve the lighting to be a little bit more vibrant and again, take off that blur. Also your atmosphere. I'm not sure how much I like having the glow on the atmosphere and lighting. Overall pretty cool, but yeah. I also might change this font in my opinion. It might be better to do a different font. This is very cool. This is a lot of builds to rate, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. But overall, I would rate your builds a good 8 out of 10. These are very good, very high quality build. All right. Next up, we got Scruffalo. He's been in my videos before. I remember him. He's OG. But we have a classic Roblox map. I really like this. Actually, your depth of field, the blur, looks pretty good on this map. It looks cool. I like the idea of mixing modern Roblox effects with old Roblox builds. Very cool. I like all the colors going on. I like how you have this rotated. I like the trails. Not really too much to change, honestly. I like it a lot. All the colors are amazing. It's like very Lego-like. I like it a lot. Take a look at another picture. He's got different biomes in here. Oh, there's Santa's sleigh up there. Very creative. I see a game with this map being very popular. I don't know if this is a find the game or something like that, but it's very cool. And then you got Floppas destroying this house here. That's pretty cool too. I like how you implemented memes in there. That's really cool. Honestly, I'd rate this a 10 out of 10. I like that a lot. Very good take on modern maps. And yeah, nothing really to change. Maybe add some particle effects in more spots. I think that'd be a cool way to incorporate more cool modern Roblox stuff into the old style. But I do see you have particles here. Those look pretty nice. But I just add more, like maybe some bubbles coming out of the lava. All right, this is a bank this dude is making. Andy War Ola. Overall, looks pretty good. Maybe the lighting's a little bit bright, but I know that the lighting might not be the key feature on this. I would say that this, maybe I'd add some more color to this. And also I'm not sure how much I like the blockiness here. I would add maybe another like ridge in there or something. But yeah, overall, when you see it all together, it looks a lot better for sure. I like the shape you're doing. I'm not sure if it's finished on top here. It looks a little bit unfinished. Oh, there's a whole other side of this building I didn't even see. That's cool. I know a lot of old buildings do that. They kind of are split between brick and then the front, which is all fancy like cement. So I see that this is probably, I don't know if that's unfinished or what, but those parts there just make it look a little unfinished. If you made that more solid and also added like one of these gray bricks on top, that would actually really help it look more complete. But yeah, overall 7 out of 10. I can see a lot more being added to that with like furniture and being inside of a game with you know, all the environmental stuff. Anyways, we're moving on to the next one. Here we are with Evo Bio, The Last Hope Haunted Hospital. All right, this is absolutely insane looking. Honestly, very cool, realistic style. I think your graphics might be a little bit low, so there's no anti-aliasing, but that's beside the point. Very cool. I'd say I really like the wooden details you've added. I like how you have all of the different textures on everything. Very nice. I like this one a lot more though, because the lighting's a lot cooler. I think overall, if you fix the lighting a little bit in this and just how it looks, well, I guess it looks pretty good with the, you know, blue light coming in from outside the windows. But yeah, I'd say 6 out of 10, only because I feel like you should add crates and more furniture and just a little bit more stuff sitting around in this environment, just to make it a little more realistic and finished off. But overall, pretty cool. I think crates and like little trash, and like if you just improve the lighting a little bit, it would be much better, but there's not much else to it, so I'm not really sure. But yeah. All right, we got Yuki next. That is cool. That is really cool. I like the style you're going for here, and I really like the, you know, the realism, but also it's mixed with, you know, normal Roblox style where you have, you know, parts and you have this little, you know, you have those Roblox style rocks, you have the bridge here and the house in the distance. Absolutely amazing scene, and just the way it's put together looks really cool. And the house is also really amazing. Like, this is one thing, you can have an amazing environment, but if you have buildings in it, it's all the better. You need to have a focal point, and this is very good for a focal point. Like, if the focal point is a main spot in an image where you want people's eyes to look, and that is what we are wanting to go for. The environment also looks pretty good, and I would honestly add a little bit more detail to the terrain, especially here. I'm not sure if you're going to a pond type of look, but I would definitely add some dirt, and the grass blades sticking out are a little bit weird, but that's okay. I would say just add some more dirt to it, just to make it a little bit more pond-like and a little bit more realistic. Maybe some leafy grass patches. I will put my terrain advice video in the top right hand corner if you want some of my terrain advice to make terrain look less boring and much more detailed. But yeah, I would rate this an 8 out of 10. Absolutely amazing. I love the roofing too. That's really cool. All right, here we go. The graphics and the lighting are kind of throwing this off, but looks really nice. I love the, you know, the haunted house kind of aesthetic you're going for here. And I would really say that I would honestly add a little bit more, a different color to the roof, like a darker color. I can just see that it's a little bit hard to contrast between the walls and the roof, but overall very cool. And I kind of feel like the door's a little bit out of place compared to the rest of the building. The rest of the building's kind of like scary looking, and the door is just very bright red, so it doesn't really fit. So I'd make that door a little bit darker. I'd also make the edges darker, but I know it also kind of comes down to a lighting thing, but you know, contrast is really important. So I'd say make these darker, maybe add like cobwebs to it, and like, you know, maybe like vines growing on it, you know, little things to add color. Even when it's like a creepy looking build, I'd say color is everything. Also maybe add like dirt patches to the house, carefully though, in a way that won't affect your performance too much. Decals are kind of iffy with performance, but yeah, overall, very good build. With those changes, it'll look way better. And yeah, I'd rate that a 7 out of 10. Very good. Yeah, I agree. Why the door is red. I Heaven has a vibe looking place here. Overall, very cool. I don't know if, actually, I think these models all match. I'm not sure if you made all the models, because a lot of the time I know vibe places are put together with free models, but I don't want to discredit you on that. I don't know if it's free models, but I'm going to assume they're yours. Overall, very cool. It all goes together very well. Nothing's really out of place. And I love the way that this lamp looks, by the way. I was looking at the shininess on the metal. That's a very cool touch, and the way that the light hits the page. There's just obviously a lot of detail and thought put into this, and you know, I feel like there are a couple things. These light strings could look a little better. I feel like they kind of put it off and are a little bit less realistic. And I'd also say that this clock also could be a little better. I feel like this clock doesn't really match the rest of the stuff. Like, it's not as detailed and good looking, if you know what I mean. It looks more flat. So if you did like a better clock, maybe a little bit bigger clock, wooden, a little more fancy, it'd match a lot better. The bed, insane detail, like crazy detail on the folds and stuff. Again, I'm not sure if you made it, but it all looks good together. One last thing, the curtains do look a little bit stretched out. So if you can unstretch those or get maybe a new curtain model, it would look a lot better. And also this window bar is kind of off and not centered. It's not fully centered. So fix that. And yeah, I like it. And I'd say maybe make the ceiling a little bit darker, or in the walls maybe a little bit brighter, just to make some contrast. Again, contrast between the walls and ceiling. But yeah, overall pretty cool. Make those changes and it'll be a lot better. But yeah, I'm gonna rate this a 6 out of 10 just because not everything matches completely, but with those changes, easily an 8 or 9 out of 10. All right, next up, we got this. I really like this. The mountains in the distance look insane. Although I feel like the buildings look a little bit out of place. Like there should be some roads and different things in here because these are very residential city looking buildings. And it looks like they're in the middle of Antarctica or something. So I feel like if you added roads or something like that, or maybe like a dirt path at least, it would look a lot more in place. And also maybe like some shacks around it or like destroyed buildings. Because if this is in Antarctica, I'd imagine it being an abandoned town. And there's these 2 laboratories left over that are like really, really fancy and just like, or not fancy, but like really creepy. And they're like the only things that are left standing in the town. Everything else is just blown to shreds. So if you had like houses here that are like burnt down and like shacks and maybe some buildings next to these, absolutely insane idea. I really like the idea of having like an Arctic laboratory town where like the laboratories are the only thing left. That'd be insane. But also, I would add snow to the roof. One thing, these buildings just don't really fit, but I'm giving you ideas so that you can make them fit a lot. Adding a storyline to a build allows you to build from that storyline, and you'll have a lot more context for everything there. So it'll make sense a lot more when you're building on a storyline. Also, a small detail, I would fix these. They're more out than they are on this side. Like, you know, this is wider here than it is here. So I definitely fix that. And I'd say, you know, just shrink those into the wall. But yeah, if you go with that idea, absolutely insane. You have some destroyed streets with like lights coming down, power lines everywhere. Maybe make the map a little darker, you know, all that stuff. Maybe add some wind effects like that anime map we were looking at earlier. You know, absolutely insane ideas here that you could morph this map into. But yeah, I would say with all those ideas involved, you can make this a 10 out of 10 map. But right now, it's at a 7 out of 10. I will rate this again in the next video if you want to add those improvements, and we'll see the 10 out of 10 build come to life. But yeah, all right, next up, we got another one from EvoBio, The Last Hope. There's a lot of repeats in here because we need a lot more of you guys going in there, posting your builds so that we can go ahead and have a ton of people posting their builds in here. I want to see all your guys' builds. So please join up in the description. Can't wait to have you. And you'll also be able to get help on development and help other people with their development if they have questions. But yeah, let's get back to viewing. So this looks cool. This looks cool. I'd say it's a little bit hard to see in this lighting, but I would add like trees and, you know, vines. I know this is part of your earlier build, but you know, vines and all that stuff. I think this is the same build I already rated, but you know, same improvements like vines and really like foliage, and also maybe a road here like the last map. Just adding that will make it look a lot more complete and a lot more abandoned. And also, you know, having something engulfed in forest and having like broken down roads and stuff really help it look more like, oh yeah, this is like the remnant place that kind of got destroyed and now it's all spooky and haunted. But yeah, overall pretty good. And I would say with those improvements, it would be a 10 out of 10. But yeah, I already rated. Just a city in the making. Overall, very cool. It looks kind of Brookhaven-like, and that's a cool style. I know it's popular with Brookhaven, so I'm sure you can do this well. I would improve the lighting. I would improve that. I would add some fog. But overall, I really like the futuristic look. If you can do more of this around the map, like maybe back here, add some more buildings that are tall. I feel like it's missing some stuff in the background. So you could have like mountains, building, maybe an ocean going out there, sandy beach, really finishing off the city. But yeah, overall, I like it. Personally, I would kind of change the colors to be more of a pinkish red, more light green. You know, when you have the tree and this green, you know, if they have the same green on the tree and the building, it does look a little off. So I'd change one of these, preferably the building, to a different green. But yeah, overall, very cool. And also these roofs, I'd change that to maybe a brown or a black, something like that. But yeah, overall, very cool. I can see you're going for a Brookhaven type map. Absolutely insane where you're going with this. And so yeah, 8 out of 10. Very cool. Trying stylized foliage. Very cool stuff here. I like that. I like your foliage you're going for here, like a fall type tree. And then you have a pine tree here. Very cool. I just make the leaves a little bit smaller on this one. And I'd also make this a lot bigger with the leaves and also a lot more even, like so the bottom half has more leaves than the top. But I know that you're going for more of a unique style. So yeah, I like that. I definitely rate this a 7 or 8 out of 10 because, you know, overall, this is great color choice and yeah, very cool. But yeah, I think this dude, he's working on another city. I'm not sure if it's the same guy, but yeah, I saw this earlier. I did give him feedback in another channel in creations here, and he did a lot more. He was asking if this was worth 600 Robux. And what I said was that yes, but I'd continue to make more maps because it's worth what people pay for it. If no one buys it for 600 Robux, like personally, the work you put in obviously is worth 600 Robux or more. But if no one buys it, then to them, it's not worth 600 Robux. But if you go ahead and make more maps, use this as practice, make tons more maps, try to make them better each time. And you know, this city aesthetic is unique in simulators. You could really go somewhere with this. So keep improving, keep making more maps, and eventually someone else might believe this to be 600 Robux or more with your new maps. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I see where you're going with this. Very good, but make more. Maybe vary the buildings a lot more. Make more. I'd love to see it. But yeah, if you guys want your builds rated, make sure to join the Discord in the description. Smarty Devs, I can't emphasize enough. This is gonna be one of the most important things for you on your development journey so that you can learn from other devs, get my advice directly. But if you want to ensure that you get the highest rating possible when you share your builds with me, make sure to watch the video on screen for some of my best building advice.